Hey guys, it's your boy Loza. Today we're doing something different. There's no Dark Magician cards here today, but instead a green Digimon deck. So if you are one of my subscribers and you're like, what the hell? I'm not going to upload Digimon content all the time. I'm just kind of throwing this out there because I won my locals. But that's pretty much it. So I played green, and I've played green since the start of Digimon. And all of my homies hate it. So that's a pretty good indication that green is good. I particularly liked the control style of Rafflesimon decks early on. It was just really oppressive and strong. And I do believe that with Nidhogg and Rafflesimon, we have this really nice sort of control once again. I'll just go through the list real quick and why I played my ratios. So I played 3 Agumon and 3 Goblimon, and a lot of people are cutting the 2 costs down to like 4 copies of, say, one of them, or just like a couple of copies, like 1 to 2 to 3, but I really think they're necessary for choking and controlling the game state, so I bumped them up to 3 each, and I do like them up this high. You just always see one, and it is just so good if you see one going first or even going second, and you can just choke by playing one out there with a stack on the baby pile as well. I really like it. Tutoriamon, it's the tech to kind of make yellows and blues mana gain cards irrelevant. It doesn't come up too much, and Terriermon's my favorite Digimon in the game, so I'm probably going to play it even if it's bad for the meta. I'm not going to lie. But let's move on to the really good cards. So Lalamon is crazy good, Tentomon is crazy good, and the reason why is Tentomon gets you a draw, Lalamon gets you itself back. And we really do need to recycle rookies in this deck because we have Mimi, which helps accelerate our rookies, our babies, but sometimes we just don't have the rookie, so this really helps ensure we do. And Palmon is there because, once again, Mimi accelerates the rookies. Then we run out of babies. What do? Palmon can put itself underneath any stack, so you can turn your Lilimon effects back on. You can make sure you have a stack that can now Nidhogg, even without a baby. You can turn on Rafflesimon's effect. There's a number of cool interactions, so like this card is good, and it's pretty much like playing an extra baby in your main deck, so I really like that. You can play it for 3, but you never really want to. You normally want to save it for mid to late game when you are running out of eggs. But you know, if you've got this and a 2 cost in your hand, well, you're going to play this on the stack, obviously, most of the time. But that's okay. The rookie lineup seems really solid. I really enjoyed it. We get to the champions. I was playing 4 Veggie. I cut it to 2 with 2 Roach. And I do think that worked a little bit better. Like, it's super situational, but I did have some games today where I had to get to an ultimate because Hexablaumon's annoying, and I had no rookie, and so like playing Roach for 3 and then just playing Blossom on top or Lila on top was really nice. Like, that still plays for 6, but it's just better than having to play any other champion in my deck, so I didn't mind it. Roachmon does come in clutch when you kind of have to make a shitter play, and he does make it slightly better, so I don't know, it's a situational kind of champion, but overall not too bad. Weedmon's insane. Like, if you're playing green and you're playing Digiburst cards, which you should be playing 4 of it. Kabuteramon's kind of in the same boat. You play 4. Digisorption package. If you're not playing, like, these both at their maximum ratio, I don't know what you're doing. Like, 4 Blossom, 1 Argo, until it's off the ban list, 100%. This card is the controversial one, or it's not so much controversial for anyone else, but for me it was. I always thought this card was kind of, like, overhyped and whatnot. And I tried it at 1, and then I bumped it up to 2, and I'm at the point of playing it at 4. Like, I've seen the light. This card is broken. Like, it's not broken, but it just pressures your opponent if they leave the baby zone early. It makes them stay in the baby. Like, Nidhogg does this too. Nidhogg forces them to stay in the baby zone or they get wiped. But this card can do it on, like, the random blockers they play, just random 2-drops they might drop. She just helps out problem cards or suspend stuff, so you can Nidhogg on another stack and put all the problems back in their deck, or the bottom of their deck. So yeah, I really slept on this card, and please do yourself a favor and play at least 3. I maxed out on 4 because I think it's really good for a control aspect, and that's what I went for. I was playing the GranKuwagamon OTK build, and it misses the mark so much, and if your opponent has 1 blocker and you don't have a way to suspend it, like, what do? The 3 security you can check with GranKuwaga becomes irrelevant because they're just going to block. And that would happen so much of the time at locals. I'd be trying to swing with the 3 checks, and, like, I just don't have a way to get this blocker suspended or killed. So, unfortunately, I just don't have 3 checks. And, like, most decks are playing, like, 6, I want to say 6 blockers. Like, Everyone likes to play their 1-cost blocker and some of the 2-cost blockers. So I just find it really hard to resolve GranKuwagamon currently. Like, everyone knows what you're doing if you're playing that jamming Palmon as well. I don't know. I know the deck's good, but I just haven't had success with it. Maybe I'm just bad at it. But yeah, I think this style of play suits me much better. It's more control. You could say it's more like Dark Magician, like the rest of my channel. But obviously Nidhogg is still the blowout card here, so I'm playing 4. Some people like 3. I say you play 4. Rafflesimon, you could play this at 4, but I went for 3. You probably should play this at 4. I wanted to play Chaosmon though, so I think I cut 1. And Chaosmon definitely saved me a couple of times. You probably could play more Chaosmons, but I'm kind of like scared of seeing too many level 7s or like high-end cards. So like, it sounds dumb, but I only played the 1 because I also want Tentomon to resolve. And I don't know, there's not a lot of scenarios where you do need the Chaos Volder Arm. Like, Nidhogg's just a 13k beat stick after it does its thing, so then it's nice, but like Rafflesimon's fine on her own, so I really found 1 is the fine ratio. Like, you either see it or like it comes out of security and you're like, yeah, whatever. It's no biggie. And of course, hidden potential at 1. This card's crazy. You gotta play it. Same as Agumon. And Mimi at 2. You could play her at 3, but yeah, I know she's a crazy tamer, but I still feel like just playing her at 2 seems fine. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but like, it's definitely 2 to 3. It's not 1 and it's not 4, but it's definitely around 2 to 3. I'm gonna say it's probably more 3. But anyway, that's my build. I really have a heavy emphasis on rookies. I really just like seeing them because, in my opinion, if you're playing control style deck like this, and you don't see a rookie, like obviously you're crying. But with a build like this, you always see your rookies, and more than that, you normally see too many rookies, and that's not a bad thing when you're playing heaps of the 2 costs or heaps of the really good on play effects like Tentomon, like Palmon, like Terriermon. So what you normally want to do is just look at your hand. If you've opened too many rookies, it's fine. You play Rookie Rush with this deck, essentially. And Lilamon facilitates the Rookie Rush style of play so well. Because, like, for 4 mana, so obviously that's quite a bit for Rookie Rush stuff. But let's just say you've got a bunch of rookies out. You go Veggie on top of them, or Roachmon, or Weed, and then you go into Lila. And if you burst Weed away, obviously you get a memory back. And Lila can just help you deal with a blocker, as well as, like, she's a level 5, so they kind of get scared of like what can happen next with Rafflesimon coming out or something. But more than that, she can help you suspend stuff and just control the game. And I do win some games just from rookie rushing. So I don't know. This deck seems like it can kind of play control and it can play like a little rookie rush if it has to. So I really like that about this deck. And obviously the cheap cost. Everything here is cheap. And that's what I really like about Green. I've liked it since I played it in set 3 or set 1 to 3 over here in Australia. It just felt like if you could play cards for less, you were playing correctly. Like, the lowest mana you can put your opponent on is how you want to play this deck. My matchups in the tournament were round 1 yellow, round 2 red Shoutmon, and round 3 Hexablaumon blue. Hexablaumon was the hardest deck I faced. It's just such an oppressive deck. There were lots of turns back and forth where I just couldn't really do much because he had Hexablau out, and I had a board full of like rookies and like some higher level cards, but just all with no material because of the Joe and Sora and the Hexablau effect. So in those situations, the Chaosmon did come up, and the Rafflesimon came up so much. This card helps a lot because it can play itself for 1 on top of like Nidhogg or another copy of itself, and that did come up quite a bit. So yeah, that's my opinions on Green. I think Green's really great. I think you should play control over the OTK, but hey, at the end of the day, it's up to what you want to do, baby. But thanks for looking at my green deck, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.